Morning. My name is Duke, and we are on the Duke and Dutch show, joined by my buddy Dutch.
Hello.
Hope you're having a good day today. We have some stories in line for you. It is not too bad of a day. Guess what? We got more rain in the Pennsylvania state. Feels like it's just spring, a long, long spring with all the rain that we've gotten. But let's get to the show. What we got today, Dutch?
Well, we're a little all over the place today. We have a update with the Karmelo Anthony situation. Specifically, the last time we covered this story, we talked about Charleston White and how he was flip-flopping on his position, from going from thinking that Karmelo Anthony was likely guilty to now completely supporting him after talking with Drew Anthony. And the most interesting thing about this is we have text messages that have been released between Sarah Fields and Carmelo Anthony's father, Drew Anthony, kind of showing this guy being a little unhinged, kind of probably damaging his own son's court case. I don't think I would be going after investigative journalists if my child was in this position. However, I can understand, being a little unhinged that your son would be in this position. Past that, we were going to talk about Sade Perkins, who we covered on our last show, who said some very nasty things about the Camp Mystic girls, who a lot of them lost their lives in the Kerrville County flooding, and how she's now raising a GoFundMe because she thinks it's unfair that she's being targeted for saying that she didn't really care that little white girls have died. Past that, we're going to talk about Jasmine Crockett, and in a really shocking poll coming out of Texas, she seems to be gunning for the Republican incumbent John Cornyn's Senate seat, and she is leading in the poll right now among her Democratic constituents, despite the fact that I don't think she's actually in the running. And I don't know why people like Jasmine Crockett so much. I guess it's because she's spunky and she's got attitude, but that's what I would assume. I don't know, because I can't stand Jasmine Crockett. Comment racist and misogynist down below, please. And beyond that, we have a little bit of a, I don't know what you would call it, a piece, but Duke reminded me that we originally started this to try to cover some issues about single fatherhood. So I got a couple feel-good stories, even though that was tough to do because you got to really scour the internet for these stories, or at least they're not on Google. I should have checked Yahoo or Yahooligans or something like that. That still exists. But yeah, we're going to get into that. But yeah, starting us off, Carmelo Anthony and Dominique Alexander here, which is not, this is an older thing, but we have a little bit of an update on the Carmelo Anthony case. The subpoenas for first court appearance, Carmelo will not be present, which I find very odd that the defendant doesn't have to be present for a first-degree murder hearing. But I don't know that much about the court system or the law. It does seem really odd. I know Sarah Fields here, and we're going to get into her in a second because a lot of people are saying, they don't like her journalism. But I think really all she does is do a lot of Freedom of Information acts, which anybody can actually request and get this information because of the Freedom of Information Act. So she says, I received the subpoenas sent by Mike Howard, Carmelo Anthony's current attorney, through an open records request I submitted to the Collin County District Clerk's office. According to the documents, Mike Howard is requesting all disciplinary counseling and school records from Frisco ISD for Carmelo, Austin, and Austin's brother Hunter. Now, and she's going to go on here, this is unusual as Hunter is not a party in the case, only a witness. So yeah, I don't know if that would even be allowed because again, this would really be between, I can see it for Austin, sure, but I don't know why they're dragging the brother into it. Unless they're going to try to build a case, I think, around that these were, violent, like Charleston White said, they're violent, big white boys, and they just went around, they're keeping the black man down. He didn't do nothing. He was a good kid. That's the only...
In a court case, they would not, unless it absolutely has to do with the court case, they wouldn't allow evidence to be introduced. But yeah, maybe if they're trying to build a defense around, these kids were bullies, these kids were mean, aggressive, they were the aggressors.
I just think it's
that's something I could see.
It's definitely odd, though, especially since Hunter Metcalf has not been charged with any crime and he's not involved with this case other than his relationship, obviously, with the victim, and obviously the fact that he was present at the time, so he's a witness. But that's it. There's nothing that I've heard of so far that's going to come out and say...
Going real quick into the whole Carmelo Anthony not being present for at least the first part. There have been cases, definitely, that the person that is being accused of a crime doesn't even testify during the entire case because the fifth is one of those wonderful rights that all U.S. citizens have. So if they believe that his testimony will incriminate him, maybe his defense attorney is saying, you know what, let's just not put you on the stand, and that is his right. But
Um,
I don't know.
no, you don't have to take the stand in your own offense. In fact, many attorneys say
Yeah,
that you shouldn't. But
yeah.
I don't know why he wouldn't have to show up for a preliminary
Specifically, yeah, not being
hearing.
physically present,
Yeah, that's very
that's
odd to
definitely a
me.
little different for me, yeah.
So
Last I checked, he was still getting charged as a an adult. I don't understand why any adult wouldn't be required to be present for
I
his
don't
trial.
even if you're a minor, I don't know why you still would to me should be there. But anyway,
Yeah,
Howard is also seeking information regarding an incident at a restaurant where no disciplinary action was taken. In that incident, Austin and Hunter instructed a group of cheerleaders from Memorial High School, their own school, to be quiet after the cheerleaders taunted them for losing a football game. Ugh. Based on my own inquiries, the incident resulted in hurt feelings of the cheerleader and nothing more. Yes. I mean, if you
well, clearly they should be locked up and put in
Yeah, I
jail.
mean, if you're gonna go around and try to log up every teenager for causing hurt feelings to somebody, I mean, geez, I don't think there'd be a
Yeah.
teenager on the street. Personally, I don't. There probably wouldn't be an adult on the street. There wouldn't be a child on the street. Jeez, I don't even. But
At most, you can label them as a sore loser, which I mean, it's not necessarily a sore loser. Somebody's making fun of them for losing, and they got
uh,
defensive.
what was
I
their own?
don't think that's
It was their own.
anywhere near a crime.
I guess their own cheerleaders too. I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't. But a defense.
it. Yeah, go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
I was just going to keep reading here. A defense attorney may subpoena school records of a non-party, but they must demonstrate the relevance of the records to the case and adhere to
Yeah.
legal procedures for issuing and serving subpoenas while respecting the individual's rights to privacy and protections under FERPA. The school is required to make a reasonable effort to notify the parent if the student is a minor before complying with a subpoena. Frisco ISD did not contact Megan Metcalf until she sent an email informing them that she had been notified of the subpoenas by a third party and did not give her consent as a legal guardian. That's interesting. Frisco ISD's attorneys responded, citing Texas Code of Criminal Procedure 24.06, stating that failure to provide the requested evidence would constitute disobedience of the subpoena. I don't know. Again, I don't know that much about the law, but Hunter Metcalf is not named as anything in this case other than a witness. So he's not been charged with a crime. It doesn't
And he's a
look.
minor.
And he's a minor, so obviously, yeah, his mother or father would have to be notified if they want that type of information. I don't know if they could block. Obviously, because Austin was directly involved in this, but I think that's what they're going to try to do here. They're going to try to make the argument, just like Charleston
That's
White did
what
in
it
our
seems like.
previous
Yeah.
video, that he said, "Oh, these what did Charleston White say? They had guns, right? They had guns on them too, which is weird because I don't think the police found the guns.
Yeah.
But I guess Charleston White. I'm sure he hasn't been paid off. I'm sure he's Howard will bear the burden of proving the relevance of these records in court when he appears before Judge Roach on July 18th. Howard has also requested a list of all student athletes and their parents' information who were in attendance at the track meet, as well as a copy of all video footage taken. According to public documents, Karmelo will not be present at the arraignment. So, can I click on this here? Why is this not doing that? All right, so. And this is just, the legal documents. Freedom of
Yeah.
Information Act is how Sarah Fields gets all this stuff. Subpoenas to appear.
You just fill out a form, and that's all it is.
So then
Anyone can do it.
Sarah Fields is now coming on. So that's really the only update we have on the actual official case. And I would say I think the lawyer is trying to do this because he's trying to build up this big bully Metcalf type thing. There were two of them, and I think it's pretty much what Charleston White was spewing out. I think he kind of gave up the game with his legal defense beforehand. And he was. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Mr. Charleston White. I just want to review it real fast because it is pertinent, but he's saying pretty much exactly what's in the subpoena. So let's see. Yeah.
I want to take the top, since I said that, I want to take the time to apologize to Karmelo Anthony's family. Man, I was all the way wrong about that kid. I was all the way wrong about that kid, homie.
Yeah, you just indicted.
I was all the way wrong about that kid. I met with his father. I've been meeting
Unbiased
with his father
source.
already. I had opportunity to talk,
The perpetrator's
uh,
father, unbiased.
he go beat these charges. I was under the impression that he brought a knife to school. So I'm taking a knife to school. Fuck him. He didn't take a knife to school.
Nope.
He didn't even know these two white boys. These two white boys just came over there with.
See, and this is the weird thing. Okay, there was no knife to school, but somehow he did end up unaliving somebody.
I guess he just found a knife there.
But what Charleston White is doing here is very important. He said he didn't even know these kids. If he doesn't know these kids, well, how does he know they're bullies? How does he know they're threats?
Yeah.
Because he was with another kid that knew those white boys. So he a new black kid who these big old white boys, big white boys. He a small frame kid. One of the white boys was on that side, one of the white boys on that side. So either way go, they had him locked in. And these are big white boys. These are some big, violent, aggressive white boys who got guns. And not only that,
now they have guns. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna replay through this all again.
I think that enough.
It's very stupid, but you can tell he gave the game away right there. We didn't realize that until I read that message, but he gave the game away. This is what they're going to do. They're going to go with this defense of, oh, he was afraid. Well, how can you be afraid of them? How do you know they're bullies if you've never met them before in your life? That would be my question. But let's see. This is some of the stuff that Sarah Fields has had to deal with by these deranged people. A bizarre campaign started by a deranged woman named Tiffany Billions is launching a campaign on Saturday called Hey Karmelo. This campaign involves asking people to donate to Karmelo's Gifts and Go fundraiser. They have recruited teens and children for these videos, which is really, I mean, come on, man. That's shameless. You're using children to fundraise for...
To backtrack to what we've previously posted, there is evidence of Karmelo Anthony being in trouble for being aggressive and violent at school. But as far as we know, there is no evidence. If you want to count the issue at the diner as evidence, other than that, there's no evidence of Austin and Hunter Metcalf being violent or aggressive.
I don't know if you tell somebody to shut up, that's really being aggressive. Yeah. Like I really don't. I mean, like.
But you know who does have a record of it? Carmelo Anthony.
Well, he was suspended.
The other two guys are bullies.
Yeah, I wish I had this video. I don't have it, but it's there's a girl who's a friend, best friend, works at a diner who knows somebody who was at the track meet, so she knows the whole story. I'm like, well, that just sounds like wow.
Yeah.
But that's like a fourth-hand account. It's like, I think I have better reporting skills than that. Jeez,
my cousin's boyfriend's friend was there.
Yeah. My cousin's boyfriend's friend was there. What's that quote from? I am your father's uncle's brother's nephew's former roommate. Like, what does that make us? Absolutely nothing. This is the same woman who has been doxing people just for commenting on my Facebook post. She attempted to charge Hunter Metcalf with a crime through a petition. She has claimed that Jet Metcalf swatted himself. He's been swatted, I think, now. He just got swatted again. He's been swatted 6 times since this incident has happened back in April. She has threatened to call CPS on me and has doxed me and my children's names multiple times on social media, to the point that I finally had her Facebook page taken down. She is now spreading a conspiracy theory that people were hired at the Collin County Courthouse just to feed information to me. And again, this is something that Charleston White brought up in his video. It's like all these people are getting all this information from somewhere. All of my work is my own, and every document I've received has been obtained legally. She has told people that my children should be taken from me recently. And this is a weird thing the Democrats do too. And we just covered this, I think on Monday with Dean Withers. The father said he doesn't believe minors can consent. And then all of a sudden he's like, please dox him. Dox him, find his kids, take them away. It's like, and it's all these childless people who do this too, because I guess they don't realize how...
That's the new strategy. Take their kids away. They're unfit, clearly, because they have opposite opinion of me. Take their kids away. It's
a good threat, because, I mean, CPS, as far as I know, you can't actually take any action against somebody who called, because it's supposed to be like an anonymous reporting line, but it's like, there are clearly people in these situations. And if this is true from what Sarah Fields is saying, and I would believe Sarah Fields over a random person, yeah, you're abusing the system. You're weaponizing the system to invoke fear in people, which is, I think it's just going to make you come at people harder. It's like, when people are coming after your kids, man, I mean, that's pretty insane. I mean,
that's a separate topic, but I think there definitely needs to be some more regulation as to how people can make complaints and how complaints are being handled by the CPS.
If it's going to be abused to this extent, yeah. I mean,
this is not the sole situation of
No, but
example.
you don't like what
I mean,
Sarah.
just to be honest, and I'll put a little personal tidbit out there. CPS was called on me on false claims, and was proven in court false claims, and I got my child back instantly. But my
Yeah,
child was taken from my hands
yeah,
the
it's
night because a false PFA report was filed against me,
yeah.
and CPS
And there's
got
nothing
involved.
you can do for false reporting either. It's like false
Yeah,
reporting is just okay.
and the person never even got in trouble for the false
No,
reporting, even though it was proved in court. She even went as far as to write in the PFA, because she was that smart, that she was filing a PFA solely just to get the child back.
yeah.
So she admitted that she was lying and that there was no actual PFA reason for the PFA. So the PFA was immediately thrown out when we went to court. But I had to jump through so many hoops because of the way the system is set up, and
Yeah,
it definitely needs it needs better regulation,
I
because that
agree.
shouldn't happen.
I agree, especially with online beefs like this. You don't like Sarah Fields reporting, that's fine. But I can't really comment on how Sarah Fields is as a mother because how would I know
Yeah.
that? You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe she's a great mother. Maybe she's not. I don't know. But how would you
Somebody's
make that
somebody's political.
assertion from her
Yeah, go ahead.
reporting on this Karmelo Anthony situation? You wouldn't.
Somebody's political view, somebody's opinion
Yep.
has no bearing on how they are as a parent and should not be used as ammunition
Well,
against them.
So she has told people that my children should be taken from my home. Recently, her cult, which she calls her disruptors, attempted to dox my husband because of her conspiracies and misinformation. The Metcalf family has suffered from threats and abuse in every way online. Please do not engage with her bizarre campaign. In all honesty, the DA should send her a cease and desist letter. So, I haven't watched this yet, but let's see, because she's now raising money.
For Karmelo, you're going to say something like on this campaign, I support Karmelo. Bullying is wrong. Self-defense is not a crime. We support
Bullying is wrong and self-defense is not a crime.
you. Things like that. So.
But I don't think, but I think using children in this way is pretty wicked, especially since I doubt they understand the full extent of this case, the facts that people have been following it through.
Yeah, I highly doubt it. Even most adults don't know the full fact, let alone the kids.
But this isn't some bizarre use of children. No.
No.
I don't think it warrants calling CPS on this lady. But if you're going to tell me that this isn't a bizarre use of kids to promote an agenda,
Weaponizing children. Yeah, exactly. Weaponizing children is not an abuse of the use of kids, but you want to call CPS on Sarah Fields.
Yeah.
Why? Just because she thinks differently.
How old are these? Stop bullying. We support Karmelo. Do you think these little girls here? I mean, how old do you think this girl is? 4, 5? You think she's any?
Do they even know what Karmelo Anthony did?
No, they have no
unalive
clue.
somebody, according to their defense, by self-defense.
That's why
do they even know that?
You shouldn't be using kids in these ways. So Tiffany Billings responded, Sarah Fields plays victim after doxing Karmelo Anthony's family. She never did that. Now this ish is acting scared because Charleston White uncovered her BS. Just wait until she loses her Republican chair. I think she meant loses. I think because Sarah Fields is involved with some precinct down in, I forget what county, somewhere in Texas. But Sarah Fields did say to this, I am looking for an attorney. Defamation has consequences. And if I need to crowdsource for the funds, I will. Charleston White posted this an hour ago. It's 100K views and counting. The entire video spews lies about the Metcalf family in Austin. He mentioned my name at least 100 times. He fantasized about white people dying, saying he wanted to watch white people get shot in real life. He called me a meth whore, told everyone I was on drugs, and said my information is coming from someone from the inside. I can't even repeat everything he said without going against terms of service on this platform. It's bad. So yeah, Sarah Fields obviously has really been getting a lot of abuse from all sides. One, Charleston White does not know the full information. This Tiffany Billions person does not know the full information.
They're willing to talk like they do.
They're very confident about it, though. But why I really wanted to cover this story is this is very interesting, and this is not going to help anybody's case. This is text exchanges.
It'll help someone's case, but not Karmelo Anthony's.
This is text exchange coming from Drew Anthony, the father of Karmelo, and Sarah Fields, and this guy has pretty much been harassing Sarah Fields. I got a video here we're going to get into too from I think AG Tactical in a second. But yeah, these are some of the things he's saying. My son defended himself. maybe if you was a parent and your child would have defended themselves, she might not have been, I'm going to say, taken advantage of. Obviously, Sarah Fields has been pretty open about that. Something bad did happen to her daughter. I think that's a crazy thing to try to weaponize against somebody. But, maybe this doesn't make the Anthony family look great. I never said anything to anyone about the lies you spread. You the one with the half-truths, not us. You scared of Tiffany because she must have had the truth. Lol, you lucky I don't know her. Tiffany's nothing but an evil agenda. My daughter was 6. What is wrong with you? I didn't mean anything by it. I'm sorry. No, really, that was just an example. You still haven't shown me any proof. I'm sorry. I really didn't mean by that. If you was threatened today, you should put their information out. This is going too far. I'm really sorry if you upset you. Sarah, I need you to leave me be. It's like, yeah, this guy is, he's just crashing out over Messenger here. You can see. And these texts were, not that long
And
ago.
realistically, like, your son is facing, well, what's the charge? I don't want to say the wrong charge. Not manslaughter.
First degree murder.
First degree murder. Why are you messaging somebody who is a journalist about this and saying all these things? Like, this is not something you should be doing if your son is facing first degree murder.
They don't like that Sarah Fields is reporting on this, and I understand that, but
You can feel however you want to feel, but you should not be texting a journalist thinking that thinking that something negative is not going to happen because of it. Like, you're not helping your son's case whatsoever.
and
Your feelings are your feelings. You're entitled to feel however you want to feel, but you're not entitled to harass somebody based off of your feelings.
Sarah, please stop. You're the one creating a race war with these attacks. Stop. You pregnant right now and don't need to be worrying about stress. I keep receiving all these things about your past, and I'm trying to. I don't even like. This guy should stop texting.
And it's not just one. That's the thing. It's not just one text. It's how many back to back to back without even any response. At some point, that is harassment. When somebody's not trying to engage in a discussion with you and you constantly try to continue a discussion, that's harassment.
Yeah, I would say. Well, his claim is that she is harassing their family, reporting on something that's
By
happening.
reporting the news.
Yeah, isn't really harassment. I haven't seen any defamatory statements from her. But this is a very telling slide right here. You're here yammering about accountability. Do you even comprehend what that term means? I've noticed a ton of your followers bawling that he needs to be held accountable. Newsflash, my son did take accountability. No, he hasn't. He straight up owned up to it. But people like you twist his words, take things out of context, and start spouting ignorant-ish, claiming he's being cocky or something. I don't know if she's ever said that. It's evident who you truly are, because why the hell are you so obsessed with people who supposedly lack the facts? We've remained silent, only responding to the lies being spread, but this perfectly showcases your character. You've got electricity running through your veins to lecture me about accountability, but all I see from you is negativity and nothing but. Well, I mean, obviously she's not painting the situation in a favorable light towards your son, who did take somebody's life by his own admission, even if you're going to say it's self-defense, but he did say, yeah, I did this, but it cannot be used as self-defense, essentially. But what I think is weird.
So to hit the point even further, I want to reiterate freedom of information. Anyone, this gentleman right here, the father, can file a form with a district court, with a state, with wherever the issue was done, where the crime was done, and get the information that is requested. It is anyone's right to do it. Just because Sarah Field is doing it, because she's a journalist and she's reporting on that specific event, now all of a sudden she's doing illicit things. It's not illegal. That's literally the legal process to get the information. Well, that's how the country is designed, so that people can get that type of information.
Well, what's curious, I think, is he's saying that she only knows half the story, and it's like, well, obviously you're not shy about talking to people, so why don't you? And there's a point in here, I think we're going to cover it in the AG Tacticals video, because he's got more text than this. But he says, oh, if I give you the video, maybe he does know more, but it's like, it doesn't seem like it to me. But he could know more about the situation, obviously, but it seems like he's just, spiraling here. Which I'm not saying you wouldn't do. I mean, obviously, this is probably a very traumatic thing for him, his family. But I don't think going after Sarah Fields about this is the right thing. So please stop speaking on me and my family. You playing victim, but you go and keep speaking on me and my family in danger. You have nothing to do with me and my family. It seems as if you're hunting us down to keep putting me and my family in jeopardy. Stop now. While you out having drinks with Jeff, I guess you're referring to Jeff Metcalf. Stop harassing us. That's my last warning to you. What the crap are you even talking about? The last thing I talked about was reporting that the indictment was coming this week, which is my job, and I have not gone out with Jeff or have drinks with him. You have lost your mind. Warn me all you want. What are you going to do? Keep threatening me and see what happens. Yeah, so this guy is, let's see, is this the, yeah, this is the same one. Yeah, this guy's pretty unhinged here. And
Fun fact, these text messages can be used to get a PFA.
Probably.
Yeah. Especially if there's threats and warnings being issued by one party.
So I'm just going to skip around here a little bit. Not the AG Tacticals video here, but you can see this is how it started. I come in peace. Can you please start sharing the truth and be honest about things? Your investigations are making my family unsafe. We're not the monsters you're portraying us to be. I haven't spoken up because some people have hidden agendas. As a Christian, I love when people invoke religion to try to, as a Christian, I'm sure they're a very Christian family. Your son, stabbed somebody at a track meet. I hope you understand there are events I've kept quiet about that would surprise you. Please consider posting accurate information. Right here, this is very telling. There are events I've kept quiet about that would surprise you. Please consider posting accurate information. Well, if you have the accurate information and you can correct the record, why would you not go out and do that? Because clearly you have no problem with messaging people. You don't have an issue with that. Can you leave me and my family alone? Can you please stop attacking my family? I don't think she's attacking your family. She's just reporting on stuff. So,
and this is right here, according to the timestamps, we're talking about multiple days in between, and Sarah Fields is not even responding.
She hasn't. Well, she will start responding in a second, but this is obviously. I don't know if we cover this. There was a manhunt in, I think it was Washington State, where there were 3 girls who were killed, supposedly, allegedly, by their father, who is now on the run. And for some reason, this is a gotcha, I guess, because Sarah Fields didn't report on this. Where's your report on this? He killed 3 young girls and still on the run. See how on-sided you show yourself? You're only making a name after attacking me and my family and Mr. Alexander. But you can abandon your kids and get probation. Crazy world we live in. Look at the hate you creating. Yeah, this guy really is, I don't know if you're helping yourself at all, buddy, here. So she did respond to this. I didn't abandon my children, but keep listening to a known liar. And again, I'm not responsible for people's comments. I can show you horrific things said about Austin and the Metcalfs. People are disgusting. I report the truth. Bottom line, you just hate it. And that's true, too. I don't think anybody should be sending the Karmelo Anthony family hate. I don't think anybody should be sending the Metcalf family hate. Let this play. I mean, Sarah's okay. She's reporting on stuff. That's all right. But, you have to let this play out. Don't bring it into the real world. And don't, these families are both going through quite a lot, just to be fair.
Sadly, with social media and the way that technology is, the court of public opinion is definitely, I'll say, out of control. There's one thing about reporting it, but then there's slander, threats, warnings, all this stuff. It's just unnecessary. None of that stuff should be made to either party. Let the courts handle it. Let the evidence play and speak for itself, and hopefully justice will be served. But people going this far where they're making threats, slander, calling CPS, all these things, it's just unnecessary and unwarranted. It should not be done. That's not how society should be acting.
So he's gonna go on.
It's just sad.
We read most of these, and we're about to get off of this because this is just a lot of rambling. You should thank Dominique for putting you on the map. People already followed Sarah Fields before this story broke. You amassed 6K followers solely because of us, yet you didn't even bother watching the video. The level of delusion is frightening. Your report, I'm not going to read this anymore. Best advice I could give to this family would really be to stop crashing out. I don't think messaging Sarah Fields, trying to threaten her, trying to call CPS on her children is going to do anything to make you look better in the public light. I don't know if Sarah's reporting has been 100% accurate, but probably about as accurate as it can be with the information that she has. Because I didn't start following Sarah Fields from this. I followed her a while ago because I think she's a good investigative journalist. But yeah, you're gonna go after her family, and then you're gonna cry. I mean, it's like a cry bully situation. And I think a lot of this is coming, like I said, We checked on this on Wednesday, and it has gone up a little bit. I think they've raised about $4,000, so it's moving a little more than it was, but the money is still not flowing in the way they want it to. So
My recommendation is distance yourself from all social media, distance yourself from all social figures that want to get attached to this for whatever reason that they may have.
well,
I'm
they
not
gotta
going to assume.
stop going
But like,
online.
just like that Alexander guy, just like this Tiffany lady, they have agendas. Let them
Well,
handle
yeah,
their own stuff. You do not need to attach yourself to any other party. Just
yeah.
worry about your son and worry about his legal defense. And I'm speaking as that I have an unbiased, I don't have any leg in this race. From what evidence that I've seen, I don't know all the evidence. It definitely doesn't look like self-defense. But if you're trying to give your son his best chance of a fight for self-defense and everything like that, this is not this does not
Yeah,
benefit
you
that
gotta
cause.
you gotta shut
You
up.
need
It's like
you
just
need
stop
to yeah,
talking
just
because this
you
is
need
not.
to let the evidence speak for itself, especially if you're going to try and say self-defense. Get whatever, just like Sarah Fields does. Get whatever freedom of information that you need about the Metcalfs if you think there is evidence to really show any type of defense that you're trying to, display. But stay out of social media. Do not give more fuel to the fire because you're not helping your son.
Well, or if you can, if you want to contact Sarah Fields and correct the record and say, hey, listen, this is reporting is
I mean,
incorrect,
yeah,
and I can show you how it's incorrect, and here's what I'm going to show you. That might
nothing
go a
wrong with
long
having an
way,
interview, a
but
civilized interview.
that might
Yeah,
that might also hurt your case. So maybe you can't do that. So if you can't do anything, the best thing to do is just be like, hey, listen, I just got to be quiet right now.
I'm sure you have legal representation. If there's somebody you want to talk to, I would suggest talking to your legal representation and getting their ideas of how you should be handling these types of interactions.
Mm,
Because I guarantee you
I
they would not
guarantee you
advise you to handle it the way that
their
you're doing
advice
it.
is to just don't have these interactions at all. I guarantee that's
I
the interaction.
absolutely agree. And I
Like,
think they are correct. You should
yep,
not be interacting with these individuals, let alone interacting with them the way that you have chosen to interact with them.
yep. All right, well, we're going to move on from that. We have another story update here on Sade Perkins. Former, before we do that, though, leave a like
Yeah,
on the video,
share.
share it out, subscribe. But yeah, Sade Perkins, we covered this woman who kind of went viral for being a vile racist. I would use those words. After the flooding of the Camp Mystic and the flooding in Kerr County, Texas. And she's facing a lot of backlash here because former market manager of the Freemanstown Farmers Market. I'll let you just we did play this already, but I'll play it again. Why not?
There's people in it. Oh my God, there's so many people in it.
I know I'm probably going to get canceled for this, but
Yeah.
Camp Mystic is a whites-only girls' Christian camp.
I don't think that's true.
They don't
it
even
is
have a
not
token
stated
Asian.
anywhere.
They don't have a token black person. It is a all-white, white-only, conservative Christian camp. If you ain't white, you ain't right, you ain't getting in, you ain't going.
So I'm not gonna replay this because we already covered it. But
And yet there's not a single person, family, or individual that has gone on the record saying, "Oh, this camp did not let us join because of our color."
I don't think anybody
But
cares.
that is her assumptions based off of pictures she sees.
I don't think
Off
anybody
of their
even cares
website.
about that right now. We're talking about a flood that took out 100
Yeah,
people
well,
have
exactly.
died,
This
homes have
shouldn't
been
be what
washed
we're talking
away,
about, but sadly,
and
this is what she's
somehow
trying to talk about.
these people are so brain broken, though, unfortunately for them, that somehow everything is about race. There is nothing else in the world that's more important than race. New
This
Gibson.
should not be the focus, but sadly it is because of what she's made it.
Let's see.
Instead of worrying about the safety of these children and hoping for some type of resolution for the families in this horrible event, this is what we're talking about, and it's sad.
Give Send Go campaign, which was set up for the woman who mocked the white girls who lost their lives in the Texas floods, raises a whopping $140. We're going to get into that in a second. It's actually raised a little more than that now. But Houston mayoral appointee Sage Perkins is claiming to be the victim after her racist rants went viral, of course. The campaign claims Perkins is heartbroken by the floods and says she is being attacked because she had the courage to call out the racial disparity in emergency response. Okay. If you believe in free speech, equity, protecting black women from systemic retaliation, then stand with Sage Perkins. Let her know she is not alone and that we will not let her voice be erased.
Exhausted with white folks, and I am done with y'all's bullshit. It is exhausting. White people's bullshit is fucking exhausting. Every fucking day of my life, you motherfuckers give me a goddamn headache.
That's actually, listen, what Sage Perkins doesn't know here, and I don't want to give away the game, I really don't, but every Thursday, around like 5, 6 o'clock, sometimes if it has to start later, people are getting home from work, we have a white people meeting. We all come together, we go to our town hall, we have a white people meeting, and we go, listen, this Sage Perkins, how can we make her life more difficult? And we normally spend an hour on that, and then we'll go get pizza and drinks and stuff like that. We'll go to the bowling alley. But, you know, about an hour, and we brainstorm. I write notes, so I know, how can I make her life more difficult? I do.
And what's crazy is this person was an appointee of the. She worked for the government, was appointed by the mayor, I believe.
Well,
according to what
for the county, but yeah, she
for the county.
Yeah,
It's still the government. She had a job as a public servant, and this is her views on a majority of the public.
I just don't know how she knew. How does she know we get together every
But
week
I mean,
and we
do
try to
you,
make
do you
her life more
understand that though?
difficult?
Do you understand that though? She works for the public, and that's her views on the public,
Yeah,
or at least a part of it,
I
a
understand
good
that, yeah.
majority of it. That's pretty messed up.
Well, I think a lot of people, might have these or might have these views, but it's like you can't, coming out and just saying it is a.
Well, you sure as hell shouldn't be a public servant if that's your views.
Mm.
No, I'm not saying that she can't have the views, but if you're gonna be working as a public servant, definitely is a
Yeah,
conflict of interest.
Yeah, it would definitely. There's some bias there, I would say. But she's gonna be very upset. It's like, but I got a lot more information for next Thursday, so that's good. I'm gonna start taking my notes right when we are done with this.
And it is just really annoying, and it's really been 10 times worse since this whole Trump shit has been off the ground.
Orange man bad.
Whatever. Tomorrow's a new day. I will be back. The video is still up. You can go like and comment and give me a follow. Okay? Like, I feel like a little influencer right now. Like, y'all really been gassing me up all day. I know I'm probably going to get canceled for this.
We're gonna play this here.
But Camp Mystic is a whites-only girls Christian camp.
Not a whites-only girls Christian camp.
They don't even have a token Asian. They don't have a token black person. It should be most and to make a all-only enclave for these people, family members who are posting my criminal record as if for your family members. Meanwhile, they're setting up concentration camps and prisons for your family members.
Yep, concentration camps and prisons.
And I need y'all to keep that in mind before y'all get out there and put on your rain boots and go find these little girls. To all of you people who are posting my criminal record as if I didn't know I've been to jail before, let me tell you something. Those charges are real, okay? All those assault charges, real. Which means I will not hesitate to kick the dog shit out of any one of y'all, all right? All right, thank you. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Me, I did nothing. I did not cause the flood, nor did I cause the failure from the National Weather Service and the failure of FEMA. Those things were done by design, and they were done by the governor and the...
We already know that the National Weather Service actually had more people on staff than it should have. But I don't think this person is living in reality. I don't think they're really, I don't know.
I mean, people that have agendas like this don't care about the facts. They don't care that they actually had more employees working than they were supposed to, and yet we still had issues.
Yeah,
they don't. Again, the facts doesn't matter because if it doesn't fit their agenda, they're not going to talk about it.
Well, I don't think that's even the issue here. The issue is really she's just pissed off because she's getting backlash online for saying some very vile and racist stuff in the midst of a tragedy. And for some,
let's not forget she's a very proudly claimed aggressor and abuser, or not. Sorry, not abuser. Let me not say that. But she is a violent individual, and she will do it again.
Yep.
According to her own statements.
Lieutenant governor and your fucking president, but yet somehow a day after this shit happens, I'm the one getting all the backlash. Huh? Funny how that.
I don't think no one's blaming you for the flood.
Yeah, they're blaming you for your comments about the flood. They're not blaming you for the flood.
She came on record. She said this stuff is real. This is Sage Perkins here. She has been to jail proudly now, apparently, which is, it's okay. You can mess up. You can go to jail. I mean, I'm not saying that makes you an inherently bad person, but
personally, I mean, You should probably look to redeem
Burglary,
yourself or maybe better yourself after
let's
certain
see.
events. But
Theft, burglary, misdemeanor, false statement to obstruct public officer. I guess this is a warrant issued for her. Hold on, what was that? Assault causes bodily injury, family violence. Okay, interesting. And what is this one? This is assault caused bodily injury, family violence again. I guess it's just a further one. So yeah. So this is her give, send, go here. It's actually raised a little bit more money. It was at like $130. I cannot actually go down the comment section because they are not YouTube friendly. But a lot of people are kind of just donating to, you know, kind of just say bad things. So that we have some anonymous givers. But yeah, some okay, support you, like, you know, which is just people who are, you know, openly being racist. Each person is publicly targeted for telling the truth. After the devastating flood at Camp Mystic, Sade, like many of us, was heartbroken. Yeah, okay. But she also had the courage to say what others wouldn't. Would this response have looked different if the victims were Hispanic or black girls? I mean, you could have said, I mean, if that was really the point you were making, you could have probably worded it in a different way that didn't come off like you were very callous and very racist. But that's my opinion. She didn't attack the victim. She questioned disparity. I don't know. This is
wasn't one of her statements that she wants all the girls to be unalived?
no, I don't think that was. But you know,
No? Okay.
but what I'm seeing here is just like, you know, this is a pretty big retelling of something that we all have video evidence of. So I'm not going to give this person any more money. Hey, if you want to go donate to her and you really believe in
I'm
this
not
cause,
quite sure if what is
obviously,
written there matches the video. That's for sure.
obviously you can, you know, but I don't want to really give this person too much more time here because
Yeah.
a sad story. Like I said, it's about 8 days out now. I don't think a lot of people, if they're not found by now, it's not going to be a good result. I think
The focus on the story should always have been on the victims and hopefully the safe return of them. But sadly, we had
Well,
to divert it to this.
I think for most people it was, and I think for a lot of
Yes,
people too.
absolutely.
If you want to criticize the response, I mean, obviously you can do that. I mean, maybe the response wasn't
We
good.
criticize the response of every natural disaster that happens.
There was actually something that came out.
We talked about it.
There's a vote of no confidence going right now for I think the fire chief of Austin, because they think that he held resources back for too long and he should have deployed people 2 days earlier.
Yep.
You know,
Agreed.
so, you know, you can always criticize the response of, you know, the local officials of the government, whatnot, especially when something like this happens. And especially since Camp Mystic, or at least the area that it was in, and I don't know if it was the specific camp itself, but it did flood.
It's a known flooding area.
In 1987, where a similar tragedy did occur. So, but we're going to move on from that. I don't want to give this person really any more time here. Oh no, we have one more thing. Somebody else is going to comment on this. I just wanted to get this woman's opinion.
Listen, I'm about to get off an overnight shift and I got time today. Little Miss Girl, Sadie, whatever her name is, she went ahead and deleted her profile, but listen, that doesn't save you from me. Nope. The fact that you even try to compare literal missing children to children whose parents decided to try to break the law, enter our country, and now they're in a detention center awaiting.
Oh yeah, because she made the remark.
I think she meant concentration camp.
Yeah, she made the migrant camps or concentration camps, which they're not. Although I would say maybe the facilities aren't great.
Yeah,
you know, I've seen that, but like the facilities are not great. But they weren't great under the Biden administration or the Obama administration either. So
I'm pretty sure we're not talking about it, but I'll quick mention it. I was reading something earlier. One of the detainees in Alligator Alcatraz went on record saying the mosquitoes are huge and it's way too cold in here.
well, it's Florida, so, and you're in the Everglades, so
It's definitely I mean, but if you think about that though, it's way too cold in there, and it's it's Florida in the Everglades.
Yep.
Definitely unsavory conditions in there.
Well,
Definitely sounds like a concentration camp to me.
well, I'm sure the conditions aren't great. It's not a place I would want to go, but I don't. You know, that's why you don't enter the
If
country
you're in
illegally.
the Everglades in Florida and the place that you're staying at is freezing cold,
I'm sure it's very hot. It's very muggy.
not-
I would think. But,
it is
you know.
not bad living conditions, or it is not bad shelter conditions, whatever you want to label it.
Yeah, the mosquitoes. I mean, yeah, you're in a marsh, so it's like I don't know. It's yeah.
Processing so they can
Paper
go the
bug.
fuck back to where they came from. You've lost your mind, and I think it's a real good idea for you to take a break from social media because there's no way. How dare you try to say or try to compare such a tragic, truly tragic situation to some fucking illegal immigrants who chose to break the law and brought their kids here, and now their kids are suffering the repercussions. None of the children that are missing, or any of the fatalities, or any of the people that were hurt in this recent natural disaster, none of them chose for this to happen. Your illegal immigrant friends that you're trying to sit here and protect, they chose for this to happen. Go get your fucking green card, go get your paperwork, and do what the fuck you're supposed to.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't want to go on because she's just going off too now. So we're gonna move on here to my favorite Democrat. Well, second favorite. AOC is my favorite Democrat, but Jasmine Crockett is moving up steadily through the ranks. And we got
But before we get on to that, like we said, make sure to like, share, subscribe now that we are officially done with that topic.
oh yeah,
Let
sorry.
us know how you feel about that and what side of the coin are you on.
So Jasmine Crockett here is gaining some ground in a shock poll that came out of Fox News, which we're going to play in a little bit, that in Texas, it seems like she's actually gunning for the Republican incumbent John Cornyn's Senate seat, which is crazy because I don't even think she's in the running. Now, I personally don't care for Jasmine Crockett all that much. I think she kind of comes off as a bit unhinged, a little bit ghetto. She obviously has a very clear case of TDS. But Democrats seem to like her, and I think Democrats are kind of pushing to this more progressive movement where they want people to be vocal against Trump. That's their thing. And it's like the louder you speak out against Trump, it seems like the more the Democrat Party is going to rally behind you. And it's very on brand for Jasmine Crockett here. She is probably one of the most vocal senators against Trump. So I just wanted to play this real quick because she has concerns about President Trump's mental acuity here, but does not feel that thought Biden was pretty much okay.
Do you have concerns about the president's health and his mental acuity?
No.
None
No,
whatsoever.
I had none. Now, granted, I didn't see Joe Biden every single day, but I did have an opportunity to interact with the president. I never had a concern. If there's anyone that I am concerned about their mental acuity, it is the current occupant.
She's concerned about Trump here. I just wanted to bring this up real fast here. This was humorous. Biden struggled to set up beach chair in Malibu during his first 4th of July weekend since leaving office. So this was the guy who was running the country, folks. Or allegedly. He was allegedly running the country. Don't know that for a fact. But
And according to Crockett, there is no concern for his mental acuity.
well, I think the Democrats, I don't know what she actually believes. I mean, obviously, any shot she can take at Trump, she's going to take at Trump. I don't know. I think, we just covered this too. What was it? It was Biden's doctor had to just plead the fifth in that Republican Senate committee.
14 times.
14 times in 20 minutes.
Deposition.
And it wasn't a criminal thing. It was just people, it was just, the people just wanted information out of the guy. And yeah.
Everyone's allowed, it is a right. Everyone is allowed to invoke the fifth to not incriminate themselves. But I guess the questions that he was asked would incriminate himself, or at least his answers would incriminate himself.
Yeah. And that's why we do the Fifth Amendment, but it's quite odd, especially given the circumstances that is surrounding a former president's mental acuity. And exactly, did you know about the cancer? You never checked it for prostate cancer?
With something like that,
odd?
if he's not willing to answer questions, his medical license should at the very least be revoked because he is at the service of people for their health, specifically the government officials for their health.
So,
and
we're just going to go over real quick here some of Jasmine Crockett's greatest hits here. This is her talking about the flooding in Texas and how she's really more concerned about,
Right. I just wanted to jump on because my heart is truly heavy for...
And this probably would affect Jasmine Crockett more than most people because, she is, I don't know if she's from Texas, but she is a sitting member of Congress from Texas. So I'm sure the plight of Texas would affect her a little more than, maybe the average American.
All of these families. The sad part is, I think that my heart is going to carry a level of weight that will continue to weigh me down as we have to continue to do our best to survive an administration that literally is against us. An administration that is doing everything in my mind to hurt us and not help us.
So to quick sum that up, here's one sentence. I'm sorry about the tragedy that is going on in Texas, but let's divert to, man, our current president sucks.
Yeah, it really is a. Yeah, when you put it like that, it's kind
That's
of
a very
astounding.
heartfelt message.
It's more about how I feel affected and now how I am hurt by this and how I think everyone's against me.
You know, it's really sad
It's
what's
not
going on
about-
over there, but have we
Yeah.
talked about how bad this guy really is? I don't think we've talked about it enough. We need to take the time from talking about these victims over here. Let's talk about this guy.
Yeah, Jasmine Crockett is. I mean, people like her. I'm not
That's
sure
an elected
why.
congresswoman, everyone. That's an elected official of Texas. Caring about her people.
Let's see. She's had this.
That she represents.
Let's see. Well, this is an interesting thing too. RFK Jr. says fluoride makes you stupider. Interesting take from a man actually proving it's not the water, it's the policy. This ain't healthcare, it's headline chasing with a government badge. And I think any dentist will tell you, because I mean we brush our teeth with fluoride, that you can't consume fluoride. Fluoride is bad for you, and that's what the community. Unfortunately, fluoride does have long-term neurotoxic effects, which everybody knows. Go eat a tube of toothpaste, and no, actually don't. Please don't do that because you.
Please don't. Yeah, no.
But I'm just saying it. But if you want to know if fluoride has negative effects, go swallow some toothpaste and see how you feel. You're not going to feel great. Let's see.
For that seat, but they've decided that they want to go after that seat. They've decided that they want to go after Al Green. They've decided that they want to go after Mark Vesey. And then the last seat belongs to Sylvia Garcia, a Latina. Yeah, that's what they decided to do.
Anybody going after specific seats, if it's a person of color who holds one of those seats, you're racist. Just so you know. But these people
what was that in reference to? I'm sorry.
That there's certain seats that people want to overturn in Texas. She's mad Republicans are going after Democrat seats in Texas, and she's saying it's because they're racist. Because, you know, politicians don't just go after seats to try to flip them so they get the majority. No, that can't be it. There has to be something race-related going on with it. Crazy. See, fentanyl is a top killer. Yeah, this Jasmine Crockett doesn't care about that either. And this is a little bit of an older clip. Actually, it's not that much older. Or maybe it is. I think it is older. This is why...
Hello, Congresswoman.
This is why Jasmine Crockett, I don't believe, should be holding her position. Or one of the reasons.
Congresswoman Crockett, you were recently on a Tesla takedown call calling for violence on the 29th. Would you like to clarify your comments?
As you can see.
Congresswoman, will you condone violence at the Tesla?
So she decides to assault that guy for asking her questions, which is, you know.
She does condone violence.
No, she says all the violence doesn't come from Democrats. When you can clearly just see her, you know, attacking a reporter who she probably didn't want to answer. I don't blame her for that, but it's like, you know,
you don't have to answer him. You can just keep walking and ignore him. Plenty of other politicians do it all the time.
But this is really the crux of the reason why we're going to cover this. And this comes from BCP. Shout out to him because I could not find this clip anywhere. The short clip.
And last night, just before we move on from that clip, I'm almost positive that's a crime.
Oh yeah, it is.
That will get you arrested.
Yeah,
that will put you in handcuffs. You are supposed to be arrested in handcuffs for damaging. That's destruction of property and assault.
Oh, it's assault, yeah. But
it's actually two crimes. If you break the camera or phone, whatever it was, destruction of property and assault.
Rules are a little bit different for the Democrats. So I wanted to get into this clip because this is really the crux of why we're talking about Jasmine Crockett and why I set up all those clips before. Because Jasmine Crockett, like I said, is doing really great in this Texas poll to snag a senator seat away from a Republican incumbent named John Cornyn. And what's interesting about this is that the leadership committee in the House, or the leadership in the House Judiciary Committee, initially rejected Crockett not that long ago and said they don't want her to be one of the faces or one of the front runners of the Democrat Party. But apparently she is polling shockingly well in Texas. So we'll have to see how this plays out. I don't know if she's going to beat out John Cornyn, but I do know that right now she's the front runner in this race within her own party.
Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett is defending Biden's former doctor. Of course she is.
Well,
And
that's not
some
shocking.
shock now. Republican Party polling shows Crockett is leading Democrats' hypothetical 2026 field by 35 points to run for incumbent Republican John Cornyn's seat.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And there's this, Jim. She said this to social media, blaming the administration for the flooding and making the issue in Texas all about her.
No, we watched this already.
The sad part is, I think that my heart is going to carry a level of weight that will continue to weigh me down as we have to continue to do our best to survive an administration that literally is against us.
Not a single word about the victims, the children who perished. It's all about her. Part of her caption for that video gave a shout out to her hairstylist saying, "My staff said, y'all are commenting about my bob. Thank you for orchestrating this look."
Yeah. So
thank you for the clip, BCP. Anyone who hasn't checked him out, you got to go watch Black Conservative Perspective. He is one of the best news outlets on YouTube. I might even say the best. I like watching his videos a lot. He's really good at what he does. Play another clip here. I don't know. What do you think about this? It's like, one, I don't think Jasmine Crockett, one, she's very Trump deranged. She's very progressive. She pretty much, everything Trump would stand for, she would directly oppose. But I think for a lot of Democrats, a lot of progressives especially, that seems to be the appeal. Because it seems like the louder you are, the more headlines you make, the more you get your name out there. It is not so much about what you say, and she's leading in this race now, which she's not even really a part of, which is surprising. But
it seems that's what they go for
yeah.
now. It's who's loudest and who can yell the most and who can say bad Trump the most.
Well, she's definitely saying bad Trump the most.
To me, the biggest thing about this whole segment, it's just really a shame that, again, we're just like the previous segment. Tragic event happens in America, and what do we focus on?
Yeah,
Not the tragic event.
Somehow, race is most affected, government most affected.
Somehow we have to talk about other stuff because get it? Because why? I don't get it. That's the problem. I don't understand why we can't take the 5 minutes that we are supposed to be talking about such a tragic event, maybe talk about the victims and their families and hope for a resolution to it and hope that they are found. But we can't even say that comment. We just, you guys know about Trump, right?
Yeah.
That because that's what needs to be
said.
Well,
I think people are always very critical of government responses and stuff like that. I believe actually Trump is going down to Texas today. Some people might say that's too late. I know, I was critical of Biden when Lahaina happened, and it took him forever to get down there. And really more of the effort of them giving $700 to the people who lost their homes, a lot of which, because it's in Hawaii,
was crazy. Yeah.
A lot of which, since Hawaii only became a state in 1959, a lot of those homes didn't even have insurance because it all got grandfathered in. And a lot of the homes down there, it passes from generation to generation. So some of the people just lost everything. And the government's just like, $700 for you. And we'll give another, $50 billion to Ukraine or something like that. That's what people are critical of. Not the fact that it happens. It's the response afterwards that you should be critical of. Lahaina was mismanaged. The flooding down in Tennessee and North Carolina, that was pretty badly mismanaged. The fires in California seemed like they were pretty badly mismanaged. The Texas thing, maybe we'll find out that was mismanaged too. It probably to some extent was, because I think they always are a bit. But
as we reported, it could have been definitely handled better in the early stages of it, and sadly it wasn't.
And you can be critical of that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But
we'll see how the president handles the aftermath.
To try to do a me thing, I think is crazy, or to try to make it a race issue, I think is nuts.
One thing I can only say is just hopefully Trump does better at handling the aftermath of this event that his predecessors did, and
hopefully
in previous events.
All right, if you think,
sorry, that's a little loud. Sorry about that.
Jasmine Crockett is just a conservative punchline, a flash in the pan, think again. A new poll has her leading in a Texas Senate primary she hasn't even entered.
Yeah.
In it, 35% of Democrat voters say they'd support her. And poor old Colin Allred, who is a candidate, is down at 20%.
That's crazy.
Maybe Colin
I think that
just
says
needs
a lot
to learn.
more about the state of the Democrats. They're so unsure, and they just truly don't know who is in charge and who is the people that they need to put the faith in. They're putting faith in somebody that's not even running.
They want somebody who's loud, and they want somebody who is going to oppose everything that Trump does. And Jasmine Crockett fits that mold.
But
Who
the
would say?
fact that they're actually putting support and faith in somebody that wasn't even trying to run for a certain seat, I just think really says a lot about the actual Democratic mindset right now.
Yeah,
Current state of
no, I
mind.
think it does, and
They
I think
don't know what they're doing.
I think
they
it's
truly don't know what they're doing.
I think eventually it's going to backfire. But just to go back to that point here, we wouldn't even be covering this story if it wasn't for Jasmine Crockett and this shock poll that came out. I do not know who Colin. No offense to him, I don't know who Colin Allred is, or Beto O'Rourke, or Joaquin Castro. I don't know who any of these people are.
None of them have been yelling bad Trump.
Yeah, but
at least not loud enough.
Jasmine
That's why we don't
Crockett
know.
is one of the loudest, most vocal people in Congress, especially
And
on
now all of a sudden she's in the lead for a race she wasn't even in.
Well, she's got the most notoriety, so maybe that is important. You know.
Maybe Colin just needs to learn some more swear words.
Somebody slap me and wake me the up, because I'm ready to get on with it.
If you could speak directly to Elon Musk, what would you say?
Yeah. Like, it's Ted Cruz. I mean, like, this dude has to be knocked over the head, like, hard. I want to play a game. It's called Trump or Trans. Stop being Putin's hoe. I walked in and I told my boss, Charlie, I said, listen, you should hire me. He said, why? I said, because I'm black.
All right, if you think
It's funny. If I remember correctly, one of the biggest reasons why there's so many people against Trump is the way he talks.
Yep. Yeah,
I
he's
see that narrative
unfiltered.
all over the place. He does not talk like a professional politician.
Well, Jasmine Crockett here, I mean, the whole thing with her, too, is this whole ghetto girl speak that she does is all an act. She comes from a very affluent family. She went to a private school. Like, this all came about because it's a way, like I said, politicians are all theater kids. That's what they are. They're theater kids. And they love to get in front of a camera and do a little song and
Dutch,
dance.
Are you confused, Dutch? The AOC segment was last week, not this week.
It's all the same. They're all the same. It's like they know what's going to get them in the headlines, so they do it. I mean, I was going to play this clip. I don't think I'm actually going to. I think we've covered Jasmine Crockett enough. I'm going to be interested. I'm going to follow this race because I'm interested.
Does it have any relevance? Does this clip have any relevance?
I mean, it does it does a little bit, but it's just more about how she says if when the Democrats win back the Senate majority, they are going to immediately investigate Trump, and it's like, well, you're not really saying anything. There's no surprise there. And somebody commented
did that
down here
already a couple times.
at a excuse me, at a 19% approval rate, she thinks they're winning the House. It's like, that's the problem. Maybe, Democrats are very popular down in your district, and I'm sure they are, because that's just how everything breaks up. There's Democrats, there's Republicans, there's incumbent seats and all that.
Yeah, it doesn't change the national approval rates.
Flipping those seats is difficult. So we shall see. We're going to move on from that. We're going to get into a different sort of topic. We're going to talk about single fatherhood and all this stuff. Because I thought this was relevant. For most boys, the biggest missing role model is dad. New York Times acknowledging growing up without a father at home as one in five children do, particularly disadvantages boys, several studies have shown. So this is the chart here. School context for misbehavior or performance. And it pretty much across all the charts, basically, it just says basically, if the family's intact, there is less. And if there's a father absent in the home, for every demographic, whether female, male, white, black, Hispanic, you can see the rates. I mean, they jump pretty high for every.
It's not a race thing. This chart shows, the research shows it's not a race thing. If the father is not present, no matter what race the family is, it has a detriment effect on it.
Yep. It's not a gender thing either, because it says, 13% of girls with intact families versus 32% of boys with intact families. Or 20%. Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's not even
exactly. It's not even a gender.
It's
thing.
not gender exclusive either. It just, this chart, which I thought was interesting, just clearly says that people who have a father absent from the household will always depend. Race and gender do not matter. They will always have more disciplinary action, which I found was interesting for this segment. Like I said, it's hard to find stuff on this particularly. I looked. If you go on Google, there is not a whole lot of people talking about single dads, which I think they're a very underrepresented, underspoken about thing, or a group. So
I told Dutch myself, I think that's a topic in itself. It's that there's just not enough information out there. They do a couple research
There's no representation
research
either.
projects every year, and if you see if you put on one side the research that they do for single mothers and the research that they do for single fathers, it's astronomical. And
Well,
even Dutch pointed it out to me. Some of the research for single fathers ends up being research for single mothers. It's like, wait, hold on. I thought it was supposed to be for single fathers. But yet,
Single father households, single mothers most affected. So this is interesting too. This is the part no one talks about: the bad thoughts, isolation. Spent so much time asking family, attorneys, and other fathers if I would lose my daughter forever. Unfortunately, thousands of men live this reality every single day.
And hold on, before we go any further, I already know what a lot of our audience is probably going to be thinking and saying. I'm not saying deadbeat fathers don't exist, but guess what does exist too? Deadbeat mothers. They do exist. Maybe not as much, according to the research. Let me make sure I get these air quotes. According to the research. But I promise you, disparities on both sides.
So this is something we brought up in our first segment, actually. It kind of ties in. How do judges view false restraining orders? So much I could say in this one post. Having just survived said ordeal, was displaced from my home and essentially barred 4 hours every Saturday from having a relationship with my kids for 2 months before a trial. Both her and her lawyer tried their best to strong-arm me into agreeing on a civil restraint. I said no, I'll take my chances in front of a judge. Judge, in not so many words, said that he doesn't find her story or accusations credible in the least, and said the temporary restraining order would be dropped. Mentally, I still haven't recovered, and the relationship with my kids has gone to hell. How does one cope with going from being a father one day to almost nothing the other? And
before we get any further, I'll talk about my personal experience. Having my son ripped from my hands, and I understand it wasn't literally ripped. Because I had no choice by the law, I was literally on the phone with my lawyer while the police were in my living room, and I had my son, and I'm like, so I have no choice but to give him up. And he's like, legally, you have to. We're going to be in court next week, but for now, you have to give your son up. The experience of me having to hand my son over to the police and then them giving my son to his mother, like this gentleman said, I will never forget that experience.
Yeah, and I think it's something that a lot of men have to go through, whether you're getting divorced or whether you're separated, you're not married. The courts, and we've talked about this before, the statistics I know from Pennsylvania, last I looked them up anyway, 91% of children end up going with their mother or they get joint custody. Only 9% end up going with their father as the sole custodian or the primary custodian, which is, and there's probably some factors into that too, and I'm sure some fathers don't really want to be around for their kid, or that's the stigma or whatever, but I don't know if it's 91%. That seems astronomically high for me. But it's a sad reality of the world we live in that I think a lot of courts, they do look a lot more favorably on the mother, even though from what we just show with the chart, the demographics do not, or the data, not the demographic, the data does not support that it's actually better for a child to be raised primarily by the mother than by the father. But
Data
for some,
does not support the best interests of the child.
No, but for some reason that's the norm,
Yeah.
So this is another one here from our single dads. My son's mother is trying to destroy me. I'm a father who spent over $60,000 fighting to stay in my 3-year-old son's life, and it's still not enough. His mother has done everything she can to squeeze every dollar from me while trying to erase me from my son's life. I have joint legal custody, but she changed his school without telling me, lied on medical forms, and blocks me from information and decisions I'm supposed to be a part of. She has filed multiple false accusations to get protective orders, not because she's afraid of me, but because she knows how to use the system to gain full control. Which I think, and again, that's what I said. I think the system is set up.
What we said earlier.
The system is set up in such a way that you can file all these false reports, and then you have to go there and prove, oh, it is a false report, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Let's see. At custody exchanges, I show up terrified of what story she's going to make up about me and if she will be calling the cops on me again over false accusations. Every time I go to court and prove her claims are false, she just files something else. I'm drowning in legal fees. Every spare dollar goes to lawyers or child support. I've tried legal aid. I've called fathers' rights organizations. I begged for help. No one can step in. I cry daily. I've never hurt anyone. I'm a good father, but the courts don't seem to care. And she knows that. I started a GoFundMe out of desperation, but I'm ashamed to share it with friends or family. I'm scared I'll lose everything, not just my savings, but my relationship with my son. If anyone's been through this or has advice, please say something. Even just being heard helps. I'm not trying to win. I just want to be a father to the boy I love more than anything in this world. Which is
Really, what it comes down to. We just want to be a father to the child that we love.
it's sad, but I don't think it's a super unique case. Now I looked all over the place to try to have something relevant here, and these are the best articles I could find. For this single dad, Father's Day is a celebration of learning. Okay. And for this one, let's see, what is this? Fostering a family. Single father raises 4 foster kids in Hillsborough County. Like I said, I looked. There's not a. I'll Google it real quick. Single fathers. Like just news-wise. I mean, there's just not a lot. Nonprofit is collecting items to help single fathers in Diva County. Group support singles father with vital resources. This is from February. Louisiana parishes have the most single father households. How many Louisiana families are led by single fathers? Often overlooked, single fathers deserve praise this Father's Day. You know, how a single dad inspired the creation of Father's Day. I mean, there's not a whole lot of information out there about good, warm, heartfelt stories about being a single dad, which is actually
Even the hardships that single fathers have to really face.
I think you'd have to go to
a lot of news about that.
You'd have to go to Reddit or something for that, because I just don't. It's an underrepresented demographic.
It's not talked about, yeah.
And I just don't think anybody really, I don't know if you want to read through these articles. They're kind of impertinent
we
to
don't
this.
need to.
That's the whole problem with this is finding the information on this was very difficult because there just isn't a lot of news out there about it, and I think we should try to change that around in some sort of way.
I would love it if more organizations and there's so many organizations, institutions, and companies that do research for a multitude of things, a multitude of topics and categories. Please make single fathers one of them, because I would love to see more information on the hardships that single fathers like myself have to face regularly. And currently, just to give you a quick tidbit, the mother is not even in my son's life by her choice. She just picked up and left one day. Doesn't have to pay child support, according to the government, because I filed. Doesn't have to pay child support because she can't get a job.
Mm. But I guarantee.
So I am left raising my son by myself.
And I guarantee you, if the situation was reversed, you'd be paying child support.
Oh, I'd be in jail if I couldn't afford to pay child support, or if I couldn't get a job to pay child support.
That's normal.
I already know.
That's normally
because guess what? I have 2 children. I pay child support for my one, and I get no child support for my son, even though there is another person.
Yeah, there's a
parent.
A very big disparity. I think there should be more discussion about this, but I don't know even where to start with this. It's like I think the court system has to change, and I think there's an incentivization for this stuff to get dragged out because lawyers get more money. Whenever this child support passes the courts, obviously the court gets a percentage of that. I think the whole system is really set up in an unfair way because you always assume the father, like I always say, it's like the father has to, if the father's equal to the mother's going to get the kid. I think if the mother's at like a 70%, the father's at 30%, mother's definitely gets to get it. Father 70%, mother 30%, mother will still probably get the kid. It's really got to be like a 90-10 situation to really push the court over for you to think that it's in the best possible situation for the father to have the child. And there's a negative stigma around that. There really is.
Now, obviously, certain districts, certain states, there are the exceptions that have maybe more lenient judges. It's not laws, but judges that at least view it more fairly. I still say I got lucky with the judge that I got during my custody case because I feel like he was truly fair. He was not biased towards me. I think he just saw who she was very clearly. And I think every day, I'm so thankful that he was able to see it very unbiased and very fairly and did the right thing for my son's best interest. Not for my interest, for my son's best interest. And ultimately, that's what it's all about. It's about the kid. And just like the statistics show, the children are usually better when there's a father figure in the picture.
Yeah, this isn't even about, this is about somebody who's adopted kids, so that's not even a, like I said, and this is...
Great on him for adopting kids and taking the initiative to help children that don't have any parents. But and it shows the disparity of what actual information is done, or what research, what articles, what anything is done about single fathers.
So that before underrepresented for sure, and it's not a
Yeah.
and normally that when you do hear about this stuff, it's people who are struggling really because they're complaining about going through the court, and they're saying, "I've been back to court how many times? You know, how many more times do I have to do this forever? Do we have to do it for 18 years? You know." And that's
Just to be a father.
Well, that's a scary reality for a lot of people. It's like, do I give up my kid or do I give up everything I'm working for? Am I just working to go to court? You know.
And like we talked about at the beginning of the segment, there are exceptions. Some fathers don't want to handle the role of being a father, which that's a separate topic.
Well, there's exceptions with
I
everything.
feel bad,
Yeah,
but the majority of fathers that don't get a chance to be a father because of the actions of the mother is completely, that needs to be studied more, because that
no, I didn't think the laws just need to change. But
very unidentified.
the laws just, I think it's identified, and I think there is a vocal minority
It's
about
hard to
it.
truly
But
identify because they get lumped in with the people that say, "Oh, he's just a deadbeat. He doesn't want to be there." No, he doesn't want to have to pay $20,000-$30,000 that he doesn't have on legal fees to just see his son every weekend. He doesn't want to have to potentially fall in depression and anxiety and potentially have suicidal thoughts because of everything he has to go through that he's dealt with, because all these false accusations from the mother.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Like, those are real situations, and those are very common situations. Those are not, oh, that's the exception. That's the one person that happens. No, that's the point. Society doesn't look at it as that. Society looks at it as that's the exception. It's not the exception. Sadly, that's the norm.
Yeah, it definitely seems that way. But I guess you want to leave it there. I don't know if we have too much more to say about that. Like I said,
I think we're good.
I looked, but like there's not a whole lot of articles about it. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong places because
whether we talk about it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and about a specific category topic about the troubles and the hardships that single fathers face, it needs to be talked about, because like we just pointed out, it doesn't get talked about. It just doesn't. It's not that it doesn't get talked about at all. It is completely underrepresented.
Yep, I would think so.
And it needs to change, and we need to help change it. Even if we're minusculely helping, we need to help what we can.
Yep, it's a good cause. Shout out to all the single dads out there. All right, but we're gonna leave it there. Again, like, subscribe, comment down below. What was your favorite segment? What do you think about single dads? Are you a single dad? Do you feel like they are underrepresented? Have you ever felt the squeeze of the court system? Has it been difficult for you to fight for your kid if you are one? But yeah, I guess that's gonna be our segment for today. A little bit of a shorter episode, but that's all right. I struggled really hard to find stuff to talk about today.
I was telling you, man, some days are like that sometimes. Some days your news feeds are flooded with stuff, and then some days it's, wow, we really got to go fishing.
All right, well, we're gonna leave that there. From the Duke and Dutch show, I'm Dutch. Obviously, Duke is on the other side over there. And we will catch you on Monday. Oh, wait, we're going to be on a little bit of a revised schedule on Monday. We're probably going to drop the show a little later than we normally do, but we will be back on Monday, or we're going to try to be. So, all right, that's what we got.
Thank you very much. Catch you on the next one.
All right, later.